Well, we've got our feet up, as you should too at home, because this test match is wrapped up and the Ashes are just about wrapped up. Australia leading 2-0. Crash Craddock doesn't get much more comfortable than this for us or for Australia. And for England, well, they're going to put their feet up in Noosa. But unfortunately, they're already 2-0 down in the Ashes and then they're just about gone.
Yeah, they've just haven't hung on to the rhythms of the game, Dan, have they? It's an old saying, but the game fluctuates like that, and Australia's held on and grabbed on and stuck firm. England have been flipped into the wilderness. And you know, there's no real excuses. Their bowling's been haphazard, their batting's been patchy, and Australia, this team here, on paper, was beatable.
Oh, yeah.
But they were terrific. They really did rally. And big win for the selectors with Michael Neser, and 2-0. And again, we say it, in our lifetimes, there hasn't been a close Ashes series in Australia. England have won 2, and Australia have blitzed the rest. But will we ever see one? I don't know.
No, it does feel like it's a long way away. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Now, 2 years ago, England did come back from 2-0 down, now admittedly at home, to draw the Ashes 2-all, and the test that was drawn, they had the better of in the rain in Manchester. And it is actually raining here in Brisbane. That's why we're sitting in these very comfortable seats. Crash, is there any way back for England in this series? What can they do to, even if not draw the series or win the series, just to not get completely disgraced and make this another 4-0 or 5-0?
Well, I think their body language is the first thing that has to improve. It's poor, you know, like, remember back in England against India, I know it's playing at home, but strong, powerful, hustle between wickets, hustle between field placings and that. It's not there, you know, and Jofra Archer is very subdued, you know, and I just, there's 2 or 3 of them that are just, you know, at least look as if you think you can win. And I know that's such a basic statement, but it is there.
What did you think of the Jofra Archer, touching on that, his exchange with Steve Smith at the end? Was it all too little too late? And why do you think it meant so much to Steve Smith? He wouldn't divulge exactly what was said, albeit we sort of know what was said because of Stump Mike. But what did you make of it all?
Bowl fast when there's nothing going on, champion. Told him to bowl fast to Steve Smith, and he did, and he set him to the rope. Nice bit of silver. They're at it again. Eye to eye. Archer and Smith are still going.
Steve Smith saying, look at the scoreboard.
Well, without that talk, is Smith taking that on, Kerry, or is he just ducking underneath it?
Oh no, he's taking everything on. If this is short, it's going.
It is. He takes him on. Stephen Smith clears the lot. What an answer by Smith.
Well, being hit by Jofra Archer at Lords and completely floored is one of the most, not indignant moments of Smith's career, but certainly one of the most chastening. And I remember, you know, on social media when someone said, oh, Jofra's got it over you, and he's come back with, remember that? He said...
Yeah, I think that was us. I think that was Code Sports.
Oh, sorry about it. Oh, it was. Oh,
that's okay.
Apologies. And then he said, when's he ever got me out? Remember that?
I do, no.
So there's sensitivity there, and there was a palpable feeling that, and it said a lot about Jofra Archer, I reckon. Just with the short little run of about 60 runs, he just went berserk, didn't he? And it was good bowling. He was aggressive. But to me, it looks like that says to me the rest of his work, he's pacing himself through this tour. Dan, Joni, what do you think?
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I do wonder if England have picked the wrong attack a bit in this series. I just sort of think, you know, would have they been better off? I mean, well, it actually leads me to my next point, and the next discussion point being Australia's attack. Now, Australia has won a test with, now don't get me wrong, Mitchell Starc has still been the superstar of this series, and he deserves all the plaudits, but we've given plenty to him. But Michael Neser's come out and taken him 5. I mean, Michael Neser, he wasn't even Australia's squad to start with. He thought he was done. He didn't think he was going to play another test. He's gone out and taken 5 wickets after a controversial line ball call to pick him ahead of Nathan Lyon. I mean, there are still people who didn't like the decision, but I think the ends justify the means. But more to the point, Crash, Australia has gone in with Michael Neser. You know, he's not express. He's okay. He's not slow, but he's not express. He nips it around his underlights. He's that classic, skillful seam, just not non-express bowler, for want of a better term. And he's the one that's got it done, the dibbly dobbler. And yet England have come out with all these, the 5 horsemen of the apocalypse, and for what?
That's right. And you know what? He has completely shown him up in all sorts of ways. I love Bharat Sundaresan's line that the thing about Nisa is his best is there, his worst is there. Really tight. Whereas some of these guys like Archer, his best is there, his worst is there. Same with Bryden Cass. So it's not about their ceiling, it's about their floorboards that what is bringing England down. Their worst days are terrible. Michael Nisa, as Bharat says, doesn't have those days. He's very solid. And so there are times in life where Steady Eddie will beat Flash Harry every time.
Crash, it's been a funny test series because I suppose we saw England today bat with application. We saw Ben Stokes and Will Jacks bat for half a day, going at 2 or 3 and over, and it was very much old school test batting. Ben Stokes, he was he's sort of the totem of Bazball, and yet he was striking at 33. Just by stealth, though, Australia's playing, maybe not Bazball because it's not so reckless, maybe with the exception of Cameron Green's shot in this test, but Australia is striking at 4.5 and over this series. It's the quickest they've batted in a test series for almost a decade, and it makes me wonder, is there a road back at all for Usman Khawaja as they go to the next test? Because I feel like Jake Weatherald and Travis Head at the top, they're going very well, but not that they're absolutely dominating, but they're just setting the tone, and that's filtering down to Marnus Labuschagne, that's filtering down to Steve Smith right through. Josh Inglis didn't have an amazing test, but you're seeing Alex Carey play with aggression, play really proactive, up-tempo cricket, and I just sort of think, why would they muck with that formula from here?
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult for him. Maybe Josh Inglis goes, but look, Inglis is very good in the field. That wonderful run out that he, got from nowhere really, and that counts. And his 20-odd was not spectacular, but it wasn't zero either. So I think it'll be very difficult for Usman, particularly when you, in an old side, when you start winning tests, you do look to go a bit young, and you just keep things flowing.
Yeah, and I tend to agree. I think it would. As tough as it is on Usman, it does feel like it would be a backward step, and I'm just not sure the selectors are willing to take it. And you make a really good point about Australia's fielding, full stop. England, this was probably the biggest issue with their preparation, not playing that pink ball match in Canberra, which I'd had to play a part in the fact they dropped 5 catches. And particularly, you look at how well Australia fielded. They looked like a team that was hardened for this match. Their fielding was outstanding. Alex Carey just run out of superlatives for how well he kept. I noticed, Ian Healy was comparing him to Don Talon. Very rarely you hear Don Talon referenced in 2025, but I think it was a very fair assessment for the kids who don't know who Don Talon is. Look him up. And then, the catch from Marnus Labuschagne in the deep, and that catch from Steve Smith that turned the course of the day's cricket. Just to finish up, Crash, what about pink ball cricket? It's got different rhythms. Australia have just about mastered it. I think they play this game almost perfectly. Was this test match a win for the pink ball as a concept, or do you still feel like it leaves a bit of a hollow feeling?
Yeah, I don't love it myself, but I've got to say this. The television viewing numbers were outstanding. And if the 2 television networks push for it, it will go on forever. And I have to say this. My view on it's changed a little bit over the last 2 days when I've spoken to 4 mates, and they all said the same thing. And they said, look, the pink ball can be a little bit hard on television, but gee, it's nice to watch at night. And they all said the same thing. So, and they're traditionalists. They're my age, So I think it's got its own niche. I would hate to see a pink ball test series, One off, that's okay. But no, I'm disappointed that the 150th test is a pink ball test in Melbourne, isn't it?
It is. I dare say that the 7 Network and Fox be quite happy with it being a pink ball test.
Yeah.
And in March, unfortunately, you sort of think school days, that time of the year, it's going to be hard. I think I get the frustration from fans as to why traditionalists feel it's not ideal, but I'm a bit more sympathetic towards it being a pink ball test, albeit, it is obviously not representative of 150 years of test cricket if it's being played as a pink ball match. Look, Crash, the lightning is flashing here, and this is really classic Brisbane Gabba storms. You've seen a few of them over the years. So we better just about pack up. We're not heading to Noosa, unfortunately, unless actually, maybe you are. But, we'll see. If you run to Crash in Noosa, compliment him on his budgie smugglers, and we'll look forward to seeing you in Adelaide.
I still turn heads. But it's I'm thinking of sneaking up there. It's I'll be the guy with the false moustache and the plastic glasses, trying to find out where Ollie Pope's hiding in some gelati store. But look, it's interesting, isn't it? They're heading up there because there'll be paparazzi probably everywhere, and Noosa is basically one street, Hastings Street, so they won't be hard to find. So the next instalment you will see on your Instagram feed will be someone eating something at Noosa.
Good luck to them. Have a good one.